Alright guys, so back from Home Depot, basically ready to go. The room is 100% clear, there's nothing here except for the blinds. I'll take care of it later. So first I got the, let's put it right there. I got the vacuum cleaner here because first what I'm going to do is I'm going to vacuum the whole room from all the dirt, like from all the little pieces of dust, chipped paint, things like that. Spackling paste, we're going to use that to spackle any imperfections or any holes I might have, which is not that many, but I still have it. Then I got two grades of sanding paper. So this is 80 and this is 120. So I got some sanding paper to sand down any imperfections in the walls. Mask. So I'm definitely going to be using the mask because there's going to be some toxins. Paint, and then also the main reason I got the mask is I got the paint stripper, and I'll actually tell you guys exactly why I got it. There's a reason why I got it, is because I have this big piece of metal heater, which we just painted over multiple times with regular paint, and it keeps it pulling off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off all the old paint using this paint stripper and repaint it with special paint made specifically to be painted on hot objects. So what's this? This is just regular painting supplies. I got rollers. This came in a set. It was about $13 at Home Depot. So I got different kind of rollers, depending on what I'm painting. Just different set of rollers and brush. So this is the brush I'm going to use to paint the corners here. So I'm going to use the brush to paint all the moldings, and I'm also going to use it to paint around the moldings, around the outlets after I tape them up. So that's what the brush is going to be for. Like I said, two different set of rollers. I got some tape. What I'm going to do with the tape is I'm going to tape off the areas that are going to be differently colored or that I'm not going to be painting. In order not to get paint on them. So that's what I got the tape for. So this is actually a piece that I got, even though I do have two sanding blocks, but they're kind of old. To be honest, I got them like a year ago, so I'm not even sure how good they are. Well, this one is still good, grade 80. This one is worn out. Now, I'm going to cover, as you can see, I have hardwood floors. I don't want to damage them. They're pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I got this clear plastic sheeting, the thickest one they had. So I'm going to put it in the perimeter of the hardwood floors to make sure that nothing is going to get damaged. There's going to be no stains on the floor. And because I'm going to be coloring, I'm going to be painting this piece right here too, so I want to make sure to put tape on the hardwood floor as well. Quick seal Plus. So that's actually the adhesive sealants. The reason why I got it, if there's some holes or there's some spaces anywhere, I'm going to fill the spacing with this clear sealer, and then I'll be able to paint over it with whatever color it needs to be painted. But this is something a must for anybody who didn't do total renovation, so you probably are going to have some small spacing. So definitely get this to fill up the space, any spaces that you have. Just simple tools like this. I'm not sure I'm going to need a hammer, but I got another little brush. So this brush I'm going to use to apply the stripper onto the metal heater. I'm just going to apply it and then toss it. I got this metal brush. What I'm going to do is just to brush off some excess paint after I strip it off the heater. So I'm going to use the metal brush. And this two pieces basically after I'm spackling, I'll be able to even out the spackle off the wall. This is just a little, this one is a little flexible. It's kind of, I had it for a while, as you can see. This one I just got because I figured I need something really steady and firm, kind of thicker, basically more heavy duty type in order to take off the paint. So let me show you exactly what I'm going to be using this for and where I'm going to be stripping the paint off using this bad boy right here. Alright guys, as you can see, this is the old, so behind this is the heater, and this is just this old piece of metal. But basically what they do is, instead of just taking the paint off and painting it properly the first time, I guess to save money, they just keep on repainting it over with regular paint, the same paint you use on walls. And this thing is really hot in the winter, because what they do is all the heat comes from behind it. So because it's painted regular paint, multiple coats, one over another for years, I don't know how many years, probably decades. You know, the paint just over time, see what happens? It just starts bubbling and chipping off and just doesn't look good. So using the premium stripper, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna apply it with this brush. I'm gonna obviously cover everything around this area, the floor, make sure that none of this is really toxic. I wanna make sure none of this is gonna get anywhere but this metal piece right here. I'm gonna use this brush to apply it, let it sit for about, I think 15-20 minutes. Then I'm gonna use this tool right here to get all the excess paint off. So it comes up easily here. However, it's not the case here. It's really stuck here and it just doesn't look good. So the two most important pieces to have while you're doing any kind of home improvement work are ham and cheese sandwiches toasted on a French baguette, some black tea, no sugar, and you're all set. Alright, let's get to work. Alright, so step number one, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sweep, clean everything off to be able to lay the plastic floor mat down. Alright guys, so basically we're done vacuuming. I vacuumed the entire perimeter of the hardwood floor, all the corners, any little place, any little corner where I know there might be a lot of dust, a lot of dirt, who knows what over the years. Now I'm going to use the scotch tape, and basically I'm going to tape off the entire perimeter where the floor meets the molding, because I'm going to be painting the moldings, even though I'm going to be putting plastic mat all around the hardwood floor. What I want to do is I want to make sure to separate the molding from the floor. So that's the next step. Let's go. Alright guys, so put the tape around the whole perimeter of the room. So the hardwood floor and the moldings are now separated by the tape, which means when I'm going to be painting with a brush, because the moldings I'm going to be painting with a brush, I'm not going to stain the floor, which is exactly what I don't want. I don't want to stain the hardwood floors. So step number two, before I start any kind of painting, I have this clear plastic sheeting, and I'm going to put it, to cover up the whole floor, entire floor. The reason why, I don't want to stain it, I don't want to damage it, I don't want to get any paint or any toxins on it. So this is going to be stain number two. Now, I got this at Home Depot. This was $10, 250 square feet. So it's a lot. It's more than what I need. Now, this is plastic. You can also get cloth. So I know a lot of people prefer cloth. Me personally, I don't really have space to store this. I just wanted to get this for one-time use and then throw it away. I don't want to wash it. I don't want to reuse it. Next time, who knows, maybe I'll buy cloth. For now, plastic, if you're trying to do a one-time job and you don't really want to store anything, plastic is good, but we'll see. This is my first time using it. So now, let's put it on the floor. Alright guys, so what I did is actually covered the whole floor with a plastic cover. So the entire floor is not covered. The reason why, obviously, is so in case some paint drips or some toxins drip on the floor, they're not going to stain the hardwood floors, not going to damage it, because once it's stained or damaged, it's pretty impossible unless you completely polish it to take it off. So I covered it, it's ready to go. So now I'm ready to go to step number two. Let me show you the floor right now real quick. So here's what the floor looks like. Now the entire perimeter is sealed off. As you can see, everything is covered, secured. So the reason why, of course, is now that I have the tape right here, I can actually paint the moldings, and the paint is not going to get anywhere on the actual floor. So when I'm going to paint the moldings, the paint is not going to get anywhere on the floor. So this is around the whole perimeter of the floor. And now we're going to go to the most important and exciting part, not, which is this heater cover right here. So as you can see, what they were doing is they would always just cover it up with regular paint, layer after layer. And basically what it would do is it would just constantly bubble or crack. So what I decided to do is I'm going to peel all the paint off, and I'll show you exactly how. Alright, so now the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to take all this old paint off. I'm going to try to take it all off. So I got this paint stripper right here. I used it before, it works really well. So we're going to put the paint stripper. I got this little container. We'll pour the paint stripper here. Then I got the brush. So we're going to take the brush and we're going to just put it on all over this whole piece of metal. I think it's supposed to be 15 to 20 minutes. I'm going to stay on 15-20 minutes, and then after 15-20 minutes, I'm going to use this baby right here and I'm going to take it all off. Now it is going to be kind of toxic, it's going to smell, so I got the windows here, which is good. So all the smell, all the toxin is going to go outside the window. It's going to air out. Because you don't want to breathe this stuff in. Another thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to wear the mask on my face to make sure not to breathe in. Like I said, this is very toxic and the smell is really bad. So that's the next step. Let's do it. Alright guys, so I believe the hardest part of this project is gone. So basically what took me about 2-3 hours to do, it wasn't that easy, but it wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. So what I did is, I used my trusted sword to remove most of the paint. I mean, let me tell you, this was about probably like 5-6 coats of paint on this. It was old paint. See, behind it is a lot of rust, and there's still some paint left, but the majority of it is gone. So I removed the paint, the old paint, and now it's pretty much almost ready for the new paint to be applied. So what I'm going to be doing now is I'm going to use this premium stripper by Clean Strip. I used this before, however, the one that I used before was not a spray. It was just made to be applied by a brush, and it worked okay. It was very toxic. I mean, it actually touched my skin and it was burning for like a day, so it's very toxic. So I have used this before. It's very, very toxic. So this time I decided to get the spray because I figured the spray is probably easier to apply, and I guess we'll see how well it's going to work out. So I'm going to apply the spray all over the surface, and then I'm going to use this brush to hopefully scrape the remainders of the paint off. I mean, I don't really care about all the paint coming off, but as much as I can get off, that's going to be fine. So let's go ahead and try it. Oh, and make sure to wear a mask, because this thing, like I said before, it's very, very toxic. So make sure to wear a mask and cover your hands. Alright guys, so what I did is I just applied pretty much the entire can, all over the metal, and probably gonna give it about 15-20 minutes, and we'll see what happens. So after 4 hours of work, hard work, I would say 95 to 98% of total paint is gone. There's just a little bit of paint here and there left. I mean, like I said, this was here for probably 50-60 years. Coats upon coats of old paint, probably like 10 coats of paint. It was, this thick was on this thing, so I was able to remove most of it. A lot of it was by hand, and then I used A lot of it was by hand, and then I used the toxic paint remover to help me remove the rest. So step number 2 is I'm going to go over every molding, and everywhere where I see there's basically some spacing between the wall and the molding, we're gonna apply the sealer. So I got the clear one because I'll be able to paint over it any color I want. So basically those are the next 2 steps. You know, I had a bunch of stuff hanging on the walls, pictures, the surround sound system. So when I took everything off, you know, there's some imperfections in the wall, there's some little holes, even if you dents in the holes. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this compound right here, and I'm going to basically plug all the holes and all the imperfections in the walls, all the holes from the nails. Basically it's a lot of small holes. And then we're gonna use sandpaper. So I have 2. I have grade 80 and I have grade 120. And what we're going to do is see all the stuff right here. This one I was ripping stuff off the walls. This little holes from the nails. Again, I had my speakers hanging on here, so I just ripped them off. Another hole from a nail. Gotta smooth this out. I don't really have a lot of things to work with because overall everything is good, but it's just little things like this I'm gonna smooth out, and we'll be getting ready to paint.